Hello and welcome to another episode of Cayman Compass Cold Cases Files in partnership with the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service. In this episode, we look into the October 2013 murder of father of three, Earl Hart. This killing took place at his Marina Drive home. For this episode, we sit down with the Serious Crime Review Team leader, Detective Sergeant Peter Dean, and Mr. Hart's mother, Ivor Hart.
Yes, Earl Hart was a young man, 22 years of age. He was shot and subsequently died at approximately 9:30 p.m. on the 3rd of October 2013. He was killed at his home address, which he shared with his pregnant partner and their young daughter. It's suspected that there were at least two offenders, both armed with handguns. Hart was shot whilst he was in the kitchen area of the small apartment, and we suspect the offenders shot through an open kitchen window from the side of the apartment. Earl did not die at the scene. He was transported to Georgetown Hospital and he succumbed to his injuries early on the Friday. There was some ballistic evidence recovered from the scene, and a vehicle was also seen to leave the area speedily immediately after the shooting. And as I've said, he was a 22-year-old at the time he was killed, and he would be really what I would describe as a small-time criminal. Earl used illicit drugs. He sold illicit drugs, and it would appear that he committed some crimes in order to fund his drug use. We do believe this was a targeted attack. Not by any means was he an evil man or a bad man. Was he going down the wrong track? Of course he was, without a shadow of a doubt. But even knowing his criminal activities, absolutely in no way did he deserve what happened to him. Absolutely nowhere. So my appeal really is, because there are people out there who know what happened, and previously quite a few people have come forward in regards to this case, and like I say, I highly suspect I know one of the people responsible, and I would like any member of the public who's got any information to come forward. I'd also like the person who I suspect to actually look inwards, look into his soul, and decide that it's the right thing to do. Even at this late stage, it's the right thing to do, to give the family of Earl Hart some closure, but also to give himself some respite, because I believe he needs it.
Earl was a very kind-hearted person. He was a sport person. He played cricket, and he was my baby, and he was always to be my baby. When I got home, I got a call from his girlfriend, Nikita, saying that Earl had got shot. And I asked her where, and she said, home. And I was confused until I get on the scene. I said, well, I want to go and see my child. She said, no, they're gone with him already. And I remember walking into that operating theater waiting area, and Dr. Matthew, one of the surgeons, walked out. And when I see him shake his head, I knew that was it. My life just gave up to me. And I'm like, what am I doing here? Yeah. And it really didn't hit me, even though one day crime scene was okay for me to go there. I went and I took all his belongings, and up until this day I still have his stuff in my storeroom 8 years later. And when it really hit me, reality, when I had to go and identify his body at Georgetown Mall. that it really hits me to say, yes, this is my child. So my dad passed away the 3rd of October 2017, and Earl passed away on the 4th of October 2013. So when October comes around, it's the hardest thing for me.
What would you say to the people responsible for his death?
Well, all I gotta say to them is that they left 3 of his kids, one that will never know who he are. Javier would never know who his father is because Javier born 4 months after his father was died. 4 days before his father's birthday, because his father's the 22nd, he's the 18th. Yeah. So I have 2 of them through the court, which is Javier and Daltia, the little girl that was witnessed the mother. I have those 2 through the court. And there's not one day that passed that they don't ask. Javier, you'll see him standing in his room window looking out, and you'll say to him, Javier, you okay? Yes, Granny. And I say, you sure? And then you see him just bust out crying. I was like, what's the matter? He wants his daddy, or he misses his daddy. I'm like, Granny miss him just as much as you guys. Yeah? So the people that are out there that are responsible for my son's murder, I just asking you all, if it's not justice for me, it could be justice for his 3 children. And I know whatever my son was involved in, it could not have been that bad that you had to take my son's life with 7 shots. Until now, there's nobody that is being held responsible for my son's murder.
If you have any information on Mr. Hart's murder or any of the cases highlighted here in the Compass Cold Cases files, you can contact the Serious Crime Review team on 649-2930. See you next time.